Hey YouTube, we are back with another video, and it's going to be a good one. These are the RLCS 1v1s that happened over this last weekend at Worlds. If you didn't know, I didn't know either. When I was looking to leave for RLCS Worlds on Thursday, they announced that they were going to do Friday Night Duels, which was a set of 3 1v1s played between players from the East, which were Europe and the Middle East, and players from the West, which were Brazil and the US, but Sam in North America. So they set up 3 matchups, 3 best of ones to be played out, see who was going to win in the overall series. Was it going to be East? Was it going to be West? It was mostly just for fun, but it was an awesome opportunity to show Rocket League 1v1 in front of not only the 13,000 fans at the stadium that day, but also the hundreds of thousands of fans who were watching live on the stream. Now, another cool part of it that you guys didn't know is that I actually had an opportunity to be on the RLCS stream, courtesy of Johnny Boy, who I think vouched to have me on the desk before the 1v1s were played. I got an opportunity to put in a little bit of input, and I'll try and show a picture of myself on the big Jumbotron in the stadium when I had the opportunity to be on there. It was really, really cool. You can check out the VOD if you want to see my very short segment. You know, it's not like I was on there very long. But it was awesome to be involved and to be recognized as part of the 1v1 community. And today, what we are going to do is we're going to go back over all those games. So we got ApparentlyJack and KV1. The games after is Daniel and Joreuz, and then TRK versus Yan. So the way that they ended up doing this is they pulled... Oh, that was a great fake by KV1. I remember seeing that live. They pulled all the players out and had them sit on one side of the desk as if they were a 3v3 team. Because, of course, the LAN was set up for RLCS where, you know, everything is 3v3 focused, but they found a good way to combine them both, and it was a great opportunity for these guys to show off their ability, and not just all of their abilities, because most of them have some serious 3v3. I don't want to use the word clout, but it's the first word I thought of. You know, they are known to be top level players in 3v3, all except for, I would say, KV1, as Jack gets a nice flick and finishes it off. So I think this was a really good chance for KV1 to show his stuff. He did well with the club this weekend, and so he probably just gained some fans that way with how well the club did. But I do think KV1 is maybe one of the best ones players in the game, and it'd be great to accrue some more fans. And there would be no better way to do it than against the 1v1 master that is ApparentlyJack, as Jack gets his second goal. My predictions going into the event, although the desk did not end up asking me for them, was that KV1 would beat ApparentlyJack, because when KV1 and ApparentlyJack have played in the past, it has been heavily in favor of KV1. In fact, I think KV1 hasn't lost a game to ApparentlyJack yet, so don't know why I would predict him losing a game now. I know lots of people would take the copium of saying, well, Jack had to play on, you know, 80 to 90 ping, which he's not used to, and KV1 is used to his 140 ping. But I am not a believer of that copium, and I never have been. And so that is definitely why I'd be predicting KV1. Great save out of the inside of his net. Not only to show that he is just that good, but also to maybe prove my stance that that copium was not a good one about the servers and the ping disadvantage. That being said, Jack with the dribble, able to pop it over the top of KV1 and tie up this game. Jack losing this kickoff. KV1 so aggressive. I mean, other players, when you're going up against other players that don't pressure you as hard, losing that kickoff into your corner is sometimes not even a problem, because players will be afraid to come and dive, so you actually get boost and you get a full possession, and it's really advantageous for you. But it's not going to happen against a guy like KV1, who is constantly on the ball and trying to pressure as much as possible. He wants a fast game. He wants a high-scoring game. He's going to surprise you and, you know, get a few goals on you by being super aggressive. He's also probably going to leave a couple open, but he's going to bank that he will be able to outplay you in the end. He makes a great play from the corner here. Jack cannot stop the angle, and he's back to playing from down multiple goals. KV1 also named Kickoff V1 at times for dominating players with his kickoff. Now, on the low dribble to 50, gets stopped out. One other cool thing that happened, if you're a Feer fan, maybe you'd enjoy this. Maybe this is just me being excited about it. But when KV1 got introduced by Stax. Stax does all of the hype introductions that you see in RLCS. KV1, a great demo, and a third ahead of Jack goal, 6th goal. But he announced that KV1 had won the Fear Fest. He won the South American Fear Fest without losing a game, and then he went on to play in the International, which he did lose in the final. But it was cool that, you know, they're using my tournaments as the accolades for these players, and it's just real surreal for me, and maybe for you guys as fans who have been watching Fear and saw Fear Fest, you might be excited to hear that, you know, the legitimacy of our games seems to be going up with every day. So thank you, because that's really everything to do with you guys watching me. You're the ones who give the games legitimacy by, you know, being fans and appreciating their results. So thank you. And right now, KV1 up by 2 against ApparentlyJack on easily the most viewed and most intense 1v1. There was no prize, so in that way, Jack is so good at slowing the game down and getting himself the goal he needs. 18 seconds left to go. There was no prize, so I think the players were a little bit more relaxed, especially Jack and Joreuz, who had been eliminated by the club earlier that day. You could tell they were laughing and having a good time with it. Great kickoff possession by KV1 to secure a 7th goal. But I do think they were still, you know, putting in their best work. And sometimes being able to laugh, I think, might even make your 1v1 gameplay better, as opposed to just taking everything way too tense, way too serious. Jack, great reset. As he slots it underneath KV1. A couple different clutch plays from Jack to keep himself in it. He's got 4 seconds. Needs a solid kickoff, and does have a good wall to air dribble. Just needs to clutch up this play, but KV1 dove at him and dunked it down to the ground. So KV1 did win, kept up his win streak in games against ApparentlyJack, and he proved that it is not just the copium of the ping disadvantage that Jack has to play with when he normally plays him. He really is that good. So if you don't know about KV1, you need to know. But now let's go watch Daniel versus Joreuz. Daniel versus Joreuz live. Something I did not realize I was going to get to watch, and I was so excited to do so. The first matchup between Daniel and Joreuz. Oh my goodness, look at Daniel, how comfortable he is at the start of this game. I was really excited to see that he was unafraid to take his normal wall to air dribbles and his aerial style that, you know, we hope that Daniel and Joreuz both go to and don't, you know, panic under the lights. But as I was saying, the original matchup of Daniel versus Joreuz, where they played 3 on US East and 3 on EU, happened on my stream as one of the big games on my stream that led to a bit more notoriety. So it is crazy to watch the next element of the saga here live. Of course, there was another portion of the saga that happened, I think, in LA. I don't think it was London. Could have been London, though, but I think it was LA, where Daniel and Joreuz played and Jack and AJ played. Both of those games were won in the final game-deciding game for the EU players. I think they were best of 5s. I say that like that because I wasn't sure if they were best of 7s, but I think they were best of 5s, and Joreuz and Jack both won theirs in Game 5. So this is the next installment. Technically, Joreuz with the edge over Daniel by a single game right now, because they both won 3 in the first matchup, and it was technically a tie, which people were frustrated about, but that's the way the format worked. And then the second time around, Joreuz with a 1-game edge. But Daniel has definitely looked like the better 1v1 player coming into this. I think that is why I would have predicted Daniel. Joreuz has had a couple rough games. It's a decent reset, but he drops it too low. He had a rough game in Gamers 8, and that ended up being his only 1v1 he got to play, but it was against Yan. When it was against TRK, which is an incredibly tough opponent. But then in his other matches as well, he hasn't looked quite like his old 1v1 dominant self. So I do think Daniel was the favorite. And just a couple minutes in, he is showing why he was the favorite. 4-0 with just over a minute 30 into the game. I did get the opportunity to meet Daniel. If you guys want to see a picture of me and Daniel, you can just follow my Twitter or check it out on my Twitter, because I got to meet Daniel and I got to meet Daniel's dad. It was a great time meeting them both. As longtime fans of Daniel and anybody who's helped him get there, like his dad, it was a pleasure meeting them. Daniel not able to get anything with that musty. Joreuz needs to get a bucket. He's going to take an air dribble to do so, but just hasn't been able to find the right recipe. This one too low, too easy for Daniel to read. He didn't get himself underneath the ball if he wanted to try and bump and get Daniel out of the way. So really nothing tough for Daniel to deal with so far. Joreuz, though, in the skies. The reset, and Daniel gives it to him for free. Tried to pre-jump off the wall to get a read on Joreuz's shot, and he went a little bit low, which maybe would have worked out had Joreuz's touch changed a little bit, but I think mostly just a mistake from the Wiz kid, who did not seem to be making any mistakes so far in this high-pressure 1v1. Now the air dribble, the reset, and the wave dash to send the ball to the far corner. Such a great mix-up as he's threatening in the air, slamming the ball behind Joreuz as he moves to the left side of the ball, but then wave dashes and clips it with the opposite side of the movement of his car in order to keep the angle towards that far post. And it's just a great way to end that play that had tons of threatening options that just froze Joreuz in net. Now Joreuz is going to try and hit a psycho, but there's no way that psycho is going the whole field without Daniel cleaning it up. Of course, set up in the corner. Normally he's so clean with those setups. So I'm sure fans who have watched for a long time remember the Daniel dribble of old. When he wasn't getting the wall to air dribble from the midfield, he was taking it into his back corner and starting it from the entire field. Joreuz with the second goal. Able to put some pressure on in the corner. And now the air dribble, the reset. And it's right underneath the crossbar. That is the Joreuz that I think everyone expected to see. And we're hoping to see a lot more of that in the next minute 30. Of course, if Daniel wins, you could call it over for the West, since KV1 beat ApparentlyJack. If Daniel wins, that'll be 2 wins for the West, and even if TRK gets the final one, the West will be the victors. Daniel looking for 2 resets, looking for a third. I don't think he got it, but either way, Joreuz not going to have a hard time saving that one away. Now the ground play coming out from Joreuz as he looks to find another way to get it past. Booming power shot. The net was open. Daniel made a bit of a mistake going out to that boost, but Joreuz doesn't punish. And then Joreuz not able to get the corner boost either, which makes him play awkwardly as he tries to gain control at the midfield. And Daniel going to push it up to 6-3 with a minute left to go. Daniel wins this game. The all-time game record against these two will be tied. Look at the ground pinch. The ground pitch slams right into Joreuz, but back into Daniel and into the net. 7-3 for Daniel. Really feels like he should be able to hold this one off. But Joreuz is one of those players that has made some of the most epic comebacks of all time, and who's to say it couldn't happen here? Well, Daniel is one who says it can't happen. So he comes and just instantly dunks Joreuz, not afraid to challenge despite the position he's in this game. He definitely could just shadow and wait out the last few goals as long as Joreuz doesn't slam immediate kickoffs like he just did for the next 30 seconds. Really isn't a way he should be able to get back. Delayed kickoff for Joreuz, hoping to mix it up to get himself an opportunity at a quick goal. Daniel just going to play keep away instead of trying to score. Just take it across the net. As long as Joreuz isn't in control, there's no way he can come back. And that pinch was probably it. If Joreuz wanted the chance, he was going to have to slam it off the wall and directly into the net. So Daniel going to win it for the West in the first 2 games. TRK and Yone are probably the main event, though. So the East can win back a bit of cred if they can just take that one. So we will head right into it. TRK and Yone coming up now. TRK and Yone, they put this one on Champions Field. I don't think the other ones were on Champions Field, but it's okay because this one is worthy. TRK has been playing some of the best 1v1 in the world coming up into the RLCS day that they played. I would say coming into the day, you either had TRK as your number 1. I think he was, most people's number 1. Jack, there's probably an argument for him, and then Daniel, probably that 3rd position. And after the games that happened before, it's probably a little bit unfair to overreact to them. But you might shift Daniel up, Jack down a little bit. But TRK, coming into this game, I think solidly the best in the world. And going up against Yan, who is really just progressed his way into the 1v1 scene in a way that it's hard to know where to fit him. He's obviously the top tier because he hasn't really had enough matchups against all the different players. It's yet to be seen whether or not he can consistently do it. One thing he can consistently do, though, is air dribble bump. He's going to air dribble bump TRK and get his first goal. He is one of the best air dribble bumpers in the ones game. And not just the ones game. We saw him doing some air dribble bumps in 3v3 as well. He has shown that that's a useful mechanic no matter where he's doing it. And he's going to try a full field dribble. The reset does not connect, and TRK missed the open net the other way. Probably should have had that. And now, Yan on the ground dribble. TRK, the shadow. Yan's wanting to keep TRK inside his net, making tough save after tough save. And he's got Yan pre-jumping, though, and panicking a little bit on the goal line. TRK, great patience. Possession is not over for Yan. He is going to cut it right back towards the net. TRK gets the 100 boost, gets the confidence to come out and make a challenge. It works out. He's got himself a possession. Oh my goodness, Yan is just so aggressive. Even with no boost, he had finally been completely starved out. What does he do? He stays right on top of the ball. Does not give up on the play. Now he's bumped TRK, and that's a crucial bump. Because if it weren't for that, TRK would have had an easy possession. Great pre-jump from TRK. The pre-jumps in ones have come out more and more. These players have gotten so good at reading when the dribble is guaranteed to go high. You can't pre-jump like that when it's a slow dribble that somebody is hiding right behind and they can, you know, just fake the reset or stop taking the ball up, bring it down to the ground, and make it tough for you to save. But when Yan gets that strong of a chip, and I think TRK could see that that was coming, that's when you can feel good about pre-jumping, knowing that that ball is guaranteed to rise. You know, it's not going to slow down by any means. There's no way it could. You can feel safe. That's what TRK has done. Now the reset for TRK. Doesn't use it, as he's hoping to get Yan to panic in net and maybe work a 50 or a continuation play into the net. But Yan far too calm, cool, and collected. And a great dribble and flick. I just don't think TRK was expecting Yan to get that good of a carry to the near post, as he was kind of corralling the ball. If you don't do it well, then you're going to end up flicking in a position that TRK could have gotten to, but instead he tucked it right inside the post. And that was a great read of the fake kickoff. In the previous diagonal, maybe, Yan faked it. TRK fell for it, slammed the ball to him, but this time, even though watching it from TRK's perspective, it didn't seem obvious that Yan was faking, he was able to read it and take the risk and chip, because if he doesn't succeed in that, then he will absolutely get immediately scored on. But let's go watch Yan take this from the corner, because this is a goal worthy of watching from his perspective, as he pops his ball out to the midfield and then gets a great reset. What he does so well when he gets the reset is he makes sure he falls off the ball. Falls off the ball and gives himself some space in order to make a shot, because a lot of times in those spots you'll see players get resets and stay right glued next to the ball. And when you do that, it's harder to use, you know, maybe an air roll or a twist to position yourself for a strong shot. You just have to take whatever you can get. But when you fall that perfect distance away from the ball, you have an opportunity to flip into it and get that kind of speed and change of direction that Yan got. Got himself a 4-2 lead in TRK. The bounce dribble into the power shot. You love to see it, especially on a big stage in which ones is being showcased. Having a Middle East player go for a bounce dribble into a hook shot that scores, it just feels right. You know, the Middle East players have always been so good at those bounce dribbles. Certainly the best region at them. And TRK showing what they can do on the biggest stage. So a minute 15 left to go. Yan up. But TRK with a chance at a possession. Yan, his fake challenge, did not taunt TRK out of being patient and taking it to his dribble, but another situation where TRK doesn't use his reset. He wants to play it so safe. With a minute left to go, I'm not sure he has the luxury of playing it safe. He may need to try and use that reset at least once to get over the top of TRK, or sorry, over the top of Yan. Tie up this game. Right now he's going to have the midfield boost. Yan sticking with his game plan he's had all along, which is pressure that ball regardless of position, regardless of, you know, who has the boost advantage in the game. Just pressure, pressure, pressure. Very much like KV1 is known for in his 1v1s. 30 seconds left to go. A great challenge won by TRK. The long shot and the last second save from Yan off the post. Truly an insane save from him. Watching that live, it had no business being kept out. But Yan found a way to do so. It's not over for him yet, or is it? As he challenges the ball over the top of TRK, looking like he was trying to kill it into a dribble. Yan says no. With 4 seconds left to go and a 5-3 lead, Yan closing out the sweep for the West. So long, people have said the Middle East and EU are the best 1v1ers, but here on the biggest stage, it looks like the West will win, but I do think the East is a little bit deeper. The West top few players have always been right there with the East, but the East is just incredibly deep in terms of 1v1. But what a great day. What a great day this Friday was where these 1v1s happened. It was a great event. I had the opportunity to get on the desk. So, you know, you can go check out that VOD if you want to see my very short segment. And I also got a ton of opportunities to meet everybody else. You know, I met Daniel and his dad, and it was really cool meeting those guys after being a fan of Daniel for so long. And, you know, they seemed to be excited to meet me, which was very sweet of them because I didn't necessarily expect that. And everybody who I got to meet at the event, I'm so glad I got to meet you all, and it truly was fun. I mean, there were players, or not players, but there were people who felt like they needed to rush away. It almost felt like they, you know, they came to say hi and then wanted to, you know, get out of my hair. But I couldn't have wanted the opposite more. I was down to hang out and talk with everybody. So don't worry if you did walk away or something like that. I'm not giving you crap, but just know that you did not bug me at all. I would have sat there and talked with you guys for as long as we possibly could have, because it's just crazy to see everybody who enjoys ones like I do. So thanks for stopping by. We got to see 1v1s and the RLCS in front of 100,000 people. So it's a great day for all of us. I'll see you next time.